Whoa, wait a minute. Is this a new microphone? Is this a new video setup? Is this a new outlook on life? No, not really. I'm still disappointed by everything. I wanted to change things up to be more exciting, so that's why I'm now sitting on the floor in my room by myself, because that was apparently exciting to me when I thought of it last night at 2 a.m. It's not now, but today I'm here to talk about the most exciting thing of all, mass panic and Instagram. You know, when I spend up to 12 hours a day browsing Instagram, who am I kidding? It's at least 12 hours a day. There's always one thing I feel like it could use more of. Mass panic. Because like you, I live in a failing economy on a dying planet hurtling through cold, dead space. So why would I not want additional anxiety in my life? And who better to spread that anxiety than celebrities like Julia Roberts, Taraji P. Henson, and Tom Holland? And pretty much every other celebrity who has an Instagram account. They were all reposting this text post claiming that Instagram was gonna steal our information, which the text post itself was extremely iffy, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. But you know what? I don't wanna just sit here and talk about celebrities for 10 minutes because I don't care. As a Gen Z millennial man, child, just nothing is less intriguing to me at this point than Taraji P. Henson's Instagram. Instead, I want to focus on why in the world did anybody believe this was true? And how did it get spread so far? See, this entire situation is giving me deja vu because I feel like I've seen it before, which is what deja vu means. I'm not sure why I felt the need to clarify that. My point is, in order to set the stage for this video, we need to go back in time to the 1930s. I love the 30s. If it was a place, I would go there. People were nicer to each other, life was slower, the clothes were better, civil rights hadn't been— oh, wait, that's not good. I love admiring the 30s from a distance. Anyway, it was just a sunny day in 1938. People were minding their business, listening to the radio, walking their dogs, listening to the radio. I don't know what people did in the 1930s, okay? But whatever that was, that's what they were doing. But little did they know what the radio had in store for them that day.
We interrupt our program of dance music.
Flaming object, believed to be a meteorite.
Hissing sound like this.
Spreading everywhere. Coming this way now, about 20 yards to my right.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Grover's Mill.
And then havoc ensued. Writer, director, actor Orson Welles took H.G. Wells's 1897 book, War of the Worlds, and turned it into a radio play. But for some reason, he thought it would be quirky to make that play sound like not a play, and then interrupt normal radio and play that instead. People were panicking. So when Orson Welles got called on it the next day, he played the "oh my gosh, I had no idea this would happen" card.
Of course, we are deeply shocked and deeply regretful about the results of last night's broadcast.
Look at this man's face. He looks like a guilty dog. This is the face you make when you know you did something wrong, but you're not sorry, but you also know you're expected to apologize. This is a YouTuber apology face. Logan Paul, take notes. Also, since we're talking about faces, can we just talk about this guy's eyebrows? I feel inadequate. And it's not often that I feel inadequate about my face. I mean, look at me. Oh my gosh, have you seen me? But this man's eyebrows put my eyebrows to shame. Hey girl, if you're trying to hit me up, but your eyebrows don't look like this, then don't even bother messaging me because I'm not interested. What I'm trying to say here is that people literally thought Martians were attacking in 1938 because they heard it in the radio and thought it was true. Or at least that's what I learned in school, but apparently that's not true either. There is literally no evidence that there was some sort of mass panic in 1938 sparked by Orson Welles' radio show. It's just a story the newspapers made for extra views, for extra reads. And it got distorted from one person to another, getting bigger and bigger until eventually everyone thinks it's true, and now it's 10 times bigger than it ever was. And that is the exact pattern that this Instagram post has followed. Instead of teaching me fake stories about Orson Welles and mass panic while I was in school, why didn't they just teach me how to handle my finances and find a good job? Then I wouldn't have had to become a YouTuber making videos about Orson Welles. Okay, this is getting too real for me. Now, there is some hope in this situation. The whole Orson Welles thing was tragic. Not that I care if anyone got hurt, I just find it tragic that people believe that. But the bright side was, it was a different time. All people really had to go on back then were the papers and the news and the radio. And there was no real way of fact-checking anything. But then in the 1990s, the internet went mainstream. Cyberspace, the World Wide Web, the information superhighway. That's literally the dumbest name I've ever heard in my entire life. My point is, we now have the ability to fact check any piece of information in the entire world. We were finally free from mass panic caused by misleading information spread by... Oh my god, that's right, that did happen, didn't it? See, it turns out the information superhighway was a lot more like the misinformation superhighway. Now we could spread worldwide panic attacks literally at the speed of light. Basically, everyone thought that when the computers that were now running the world had to switch their dates over from 1999 to 2000, the computers were just going to be like, hi, we can't count that far. We know that 2000 is only one number higher than 1999, but that's enough from us, chief. And then the world was gonna stop. Life support was gonna stop working, clocks were gonna stop ticking, toilets were gonna stop flushing.
It is also important to consider what you'll do if the toilets won't flush. What are your alternatives?
I don't want to think about my alternatives if the toilet doesn't flush. Again, looking back, it seems silly, right? But it's completely understandable at the same time. Politicians, scientists, celebrities, that's not surprising, news reporters, these were the people telling us that our toilets were going to stop flushing on the first day of the year 2000. So, it's pretty easy to guess what happened. It was New Year's Eve, 1999. I wasn't born yet. Wait, was I born in 1999? Actually, I was born. Bro, I don't remember how old I am. I have to look at my own famous birthdays page sometimes just to remember my own age. Yes, I am on famous birthdays. Oh my gosh, thank you for asking. Anyway, it was New Year's Eve and everyone looked down at their Casio calculator watches and waited in horror. Yeah, nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. Nothing. Again, I'm not blaming anyone. I am laughing at them. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Y2K is hilarious, but I understand it. If a bunch of prestigious people are telling you, hey, this thing is true, and also it's definitely going to happen, then of course everyone's going to believe it. And that can be good in some cases, but in other cases, it's just extreme levels of cringe. And this Instagram post definitely falls into the extreme cringe category. Now that I've ranted about Orson Welles and Y2K and how events like that set the precedent for how mass panic is caused by misinformation spread by mass media, I just want to spend the remainder of my time laughing at everyone who thought this Instagram post was real. First of all, how could you look at this and think it was real? The word Instagram isn't even the same size in various places. Look, it's 24px here, but 12px right here. Don't forget, tomorrow starts the new Instagram rule where they can use your photos. First of all, Instagram already has permission to use your photos. You gave them that permission when you signed up for the app, but you said you read the terms of service, but you didn't read the terms of service because, let's face it, nobody reads the terms of service. Channel 13 News talked about the change in Instagram's privacy policy. Which Channel 13? There's a ton of Channel 13s. Channel 13 is something different in every single part of the world. Note, Instagram is now a public entity. All members must post a note like this. That's easily my favorite line in this entire train wreck. Instagram is now meaning it wasn't a public entity before. It sounds fake, right? Like, it sounds fake. It sounds like Y2K. It sounds like Martians attacking. It sounds like the kind of thing you would look at and go, oh, there's no way anyone would think this is real, right? Why do I say right when I know it's wrong? Yawn. I sure do love waking up in the morning and being superstar actor Tom Holland. Let me check my Instagram and see what my superstar actor friend Neil Horan is posting. Oh no, Instagram is about to become a public entity. Let me verify whether this information is true. Just kidding, Neil has a blue check mark. Of course what he's saying is true. Time to share this with my 30 million Instagram followers. And that is how Rob Lowe, Neil Horan, Tom Holland, Julianne Moore, Beyonce's mom, Julia Roberts, Joey Saldana, Martha Stewart, aka the head of the United States Department of Energy, Deborah Marilyn, Jeremy Renner, Billy Joe Armstrong, Gal Gadot, Kelly Rowland, Dave Bautista, and countless other celebrities wound up falling for a repost scam. Now, if you add together all of these people's Instagram follower counts, how many people saw this? 100 million? 250 million? Half a billion people? I don't know, but what I do know, this is absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry. And what makes it funnier to me is this is the exact same thing that happened 20 years ago and 80 years ago, and will probably be the exact same that happens in like a week. In conclusion, don't believe anything anyone says on the internet except me. Anyway, looks like I've gotten 10 minutes of content out of this, so leave a like, tell me what you think, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and a big thank you to my 209,000 subscribers. Okay, bye.